Good morning, Shai. Good morning. I learned some German language. Good morning. Perfect? Perfect. 다들이야. 다들이야. 나 가수래. 디린디야. 아니 나도 샬이야. 차게 준비 거리야. 계시오레스 제 송래. 아니 지주 샬이야. 추진 계주기. 왕지 차오레스 데다 제림 세비 두세.
Today morning, there is a program made and a request made that I teach the Mahamudra, and in the afternoon an empowerment on the 84 Siddhas. That's in the program.
추진 계주서시디. 주진 계주와는 악마 별이 루산에 악마 별이 루산에 애니디 스드름 제 계절을 고나니 팅 니즈 별 페브제 이네디 루산다 short time 루치 뒤즈디 툰드윙이 비인사 나래야지 원롱 명아든 나 그거 비다 중요하만 드린 유산에 다 남주 왕슈가 용게도 상월로야 그뒤에 왕 지니즈마도 그뒤에 대배 가서 양고를 제제 굴대야 마도베 신다데 왕도 그래야 제장 아들 로추주인에서 됐지 뭐라서 그뒤에 와 추준지 야야네 하고 다 지난주에 와사스게 요마르다 다 이네 다지 와 첨부를 굴고 나샤지 대인주산에 다 와 첨부도 굴야요 말 가르잖아 수수 토비인사 근데 대치주 변해지 마용어서들이야 안 주진게 주와지 굴래 다들 가르잖아 엄마가 추준 거 까마벌 문지 맞을 거야 스드rum지 댄서 감래다 바보 배봉사 지어봐 텔레양아 춘춘 거지 용마다 다 디류산에 주무지기다 왕왕 무구래 스드rum지 왕왕 무구래 다 디디동네 왕들시다 지 로추진 유산에 지 visualize 유도다 파스 주세래 նել 비게 초대 나래 아버지 대아르시다 중앙에서 파 교수 교체 왕도 야버지의 토익이 맞어 다 디주산에 rum지기 주진 계주시 왕데 나 예외 인도산에 다 토유지의 삶 this 한바를 제제 된 주망자들이야 주진 계주 왕 차니 군용이 다 디주산 하나 this 가서 뽑아라지 다 왕치 뭐 꾸리에 안 삼삼을 this 가서다 뽑아는 지하 총수
So, about the 84 Siddhas empowerment, I want to say that when I was in Tibet, Taisudi Rinpoche and Jalsa Rinpoche came only 2 times, and because of the shortage of the time, they couldn't give me lots of empowerments and transmissions and instructions. So therefore, when people ask for empowerments, I had only a few empowerments.
One or two.
Only 1 or 2 empowerments to give, small empowerments. And I was always repeating those empowerments because I hadn't received instructions and things like that on others. So I was feeling a little bit not good that I was giving only some small empowerments and was not being able to give big empowerments. I thought that it was kind of a little bit embarrassing, although, of course, there is nothing to be embarrassed about it. And long time, actually, before I was even recognized as Karmapa, I received many empowerments from Siddhu Rinpoche, but then at that time I was, very young and a little bit, I don't think I should say this, naughty. So therefore, maybe I was not even very much inside the way I should be. So I'm not sure how much empowerments I really received. But that time I received the empowerments of 84 Siddhas. And so kind of assuming that I have received this 84 Siddhas empowerment that time. So before I came out of Tibet, for about 2 times I was able to give the empowerments of 84 Siddhas in Tibet. And that time I felt really good and kind of, I felt proud of myself that I was doing that.
I think might become 2 different kinds of story, a little bit. Actually, not big difference. There are some small difference. I think when I was a child, it's kind of child-minded. Always give the same empowerment. I have this idea, should give some big empowerment, very long empowerment. But I don't have that lineage. That way, always, give the same empowerment. Some attendant, some friend tell me, you should give some more, but I don't have. And finally, maybe before I leave Tibet, then finally I decided to give this 84 Mahasiddha empowerment. It's kind of big and shown, 84. Not 1, 84, Then, because when I was a child, before I recognized as Karmapa, we went to the monastery, the seat of the monastery of for Siddharam Rinpoche. We call it Papa Monastery. It's far away from my hometown. But we went there. There's some due to some reason. The biggest reason, I think, my father think I'm kind of special person now, because he always told me when you're born, these auspicious things happen, that, lots of then, but we don't know the doubt who I am, who I am, like which kind of tuku, tuku or something. Of course, we don't believe Kamapa, it's too high. But maybe it's kind of, that's why my father bring me to see Siddharam Rinpoche, to ask him, rather I'm a like special tuku, or that is maybe it's that big reason. Then we went there. Then Rinpoche, that time, the Siddharam Rinpoche give lots of empowerment, like big empowerment. I'm also kind of, gathered together, or,
we're together with many
people.
other monks.
Of course, at that time, I'm just like maybe 5 or 6 years old. I can't visualize, nothing. And also I'm a little bit naughty, going there, going here. I don't think I've received very really receive the empowerment. But I think, okay, maybe kind of become
Bold.
bold. Big? Okay, no. But I think that's why maybe I'm a little bit I think maybe I've received some empowerment. You can consider. Actually, reality, I'm not so sure, but maybe this is kind of excuse. That's why I give this 84 Mahasiddhas empowerment in Tibet before I leave Tibet, 2 times.
And I'll do this again here today. Although it has all 4 levels of empowerment, but maybe it's okay not to do all 4 this time.
Maybe only the first.
Only the first empowerment.
That name Mahamudra Golya. Chagachimbu.
And then about Mahamudra.
Mi Mamachigi, someday Naloregi, ya. Peg Namasangi with Shedi, magical Rabachita, Kashwataji. Karineji. Mizina, Gange Karine be solved, Gange Karine set we are so rich. Lapsan magical Ruchi, miracle, the Ruchi. Lavatuji Mahamudra called Turn to San Lapsanji. Exciting, some of Lapsan, the Kaso Aksar Rishvicha, but you only get some.
Many people feel that the Tibetan Buddhism, practice is a little bit like magical or miraculous. That if you receive that and practice, then something happens and solve all your problems immediately. And in the same way, when you hear about Mahamudra, they think that there is something very special that, and very kind of miraculously, everything is, kind of solved. So people have those kind of wrong expectations.
최기 니주 가수 수수 미지나 강한 탐지 세사데 가보시다래 성유.
It's quite difficult that just because of the Dharma, all your problems in the life can be solved.
베나 가시지 3년 나로를 베나지 수수 나즈 나위네야 취할래 되네지 나즈 세트야로 야는 벤조를 경규 정부이네야 야지 취를 진감내 세비네 야한테 벤조 전부 쳐그랬어 서로 딱 간다 진짜게 배 가수해지 삼르던 거 알아요.
Some people think that every problems of the life can be solved by the Dharma. Like if you are sick, then if you practice Dharma, that will cure you. And if you have economic problems, then you have practiced Dharma, and you will become rich, and all the economic problems will be solved. Things like that. People have certain expectations.
이날 최디 냠내 차디 미진앙게 강에 연소 세아체도 말을라 데 세트야 가버렸어.
The practice of Dharma is not to solve all these kind of problems of the life, and I think it's difficult that all the problems of the life can be solved by this.
네, 최냠내 차디 아주다 가수 강에 아주나 미진앙게 강에 치슈스란 장도 야나 시지에게 강에 세악 제도를 섬청이.
I feel that the practice of Dharma is to get rid of or to solve the basic problems of the life, or the most important problems of the life.
배낭 아주지 가수에 간데스레스 라비입니다. 다당 아주 다다베는지 수부 대타이네 평기야 말아. 다는 신기 빼줘 론주 전부 이내 평기야 말아. 간다 지토를 이미는 다 간다 successful 예비네야 던도이네 아주 생분 나로래야지. 배 가수에 기부 기나를 매야지. 배 롱리 차대야서로 야면 캐리장 차대야서로 동부 차대야로 나 근데 지금 전화지 아주 망부지 용도 알아. 저 진짜기다 심기 나서서는 장도 심기 동에서는 장도 되게가 제대로 해서 정리.
Many people, even if we are healthy, even if we have good kind of economic conditions, even if we are successful, that doesn't necessarily make us satisfied or fulfilled. We can still feel lonely, empty, and not happy. So these kind of problems of the mind, or sickness of the mind, if you want to call, these things can be, I think, solved by the practice of the Dhamma.
다 계시지 수수기 최기 냠랭이 ben누가 세토버를 레비입니다. 다 지잖아요. 않고 강에 가수에 대단 세토버를 레비나 신 버지 다 가수에 샘그 뉴버로 숙청부 예비입니다. 안도 델라데네지 수수르기 나서줘도 하고 안하지 미신다게 다다나 신 다간다 강에 친식 뒤주네 다 강에 친식 소모로 신다도 저 투야로 알았어.
If your practice is very highly advanced, then maybe it's possible it's possible that because the strength of the mind becomes so strong, so then it is possible that all other problems, like even economic and to cure your illness and to help others kind of to cure them, these kind of things is possible. But for that, your practice has to become really highly advanced. So therefore, it is not easy.
세상 다 셈기 시디주 세난장도 셈레 소주야의 자와체 딩아 주진 최냠는 지하기 시제 미유 세난장도 다나 신기 간다르 그시 조로도 대임베체 신다도 지 가르 지딩게 신다도 다 샤르란 주비안럽지 샤르 이나 디체도 마이바 다체도 미바디다 간다 비제 셈리아
So therefore the main objective or the main purpose of the practice of Dhamma is to kind of transform your mind, to train your mind, to kind of do something about your mind. And that is the basic purpose, basic kind of objective of the practice of the Dhamma. And other things are like a little bit coming, besides it, as a part of it, not the main practice. So everything is, really geared towards the transforming your state of mind. That's the most crucial or the essential part of the practice of Dhamma.
따이면에 최냠는 체스리안디 디 가르쳐 베는 지딩 베나 가르쳐 신다는 지딩 차와도 최고 말해서 될래야 베 가르쳐다지 가르쳐차 진짜랑 말해 진짜랑 말했어.
It is not that when you practice Dhamma, then you cannot or should not do any other worldly work or worldly things. That's not the idea. We should not understand it that way.
가르쳐 나간다 최냠는 시아들 골라다 가르쳐야 돼. 당연 들으시면 나름은 다 돼야 된저위지 셈리야 소지 개버사디 지 forcefully 말ပဲ지 전부 완유를 체 야나지 가르쳐 되지 가르쳐 아주 참참 야 참참 지 최체사의 지 가르쳐 소수기 face 지 강에 될 동네 체마도 체 텔레바 유야가 탑시럽지 최냠는 진사데 강에 동네 맞습세 텔레 유야가 탑시럽지 진짜지량 무지샤서 야나지 최냠는 진사데 지 소소리아 백 동네 시비스면 동네 시비주빈 다데 맞지 냄제 소소 만 냄제 아니 지 셈그 나로마 가르쳐지 제뉴르 체샤서 진짜 말
The practice Dhamma is not to force things. Sometimes people, when they have lots of problems and difficulties, and then they try to practice Dhamma in order to kind of escape or evade to face those problems. That many people have that way of doing it also, and sometimes. Through the practice of Dhamma, they try to suppress and kind of forcefully suppress their problems and sufferings. This is not the way. We can't do it through this way.
배나 냠는 생에 가시엘이야 배나 최 냠는 생 가시고 가시엘 들이 용리가 배나 공도 참 근데나 야나지 배는 jealous 좀 차도 되자 근데 용스레스 이 용받들이야 가시에다 지 교랑배 practitioner로 수수 미신다게 애들 그런 프로페셔널로 와디 콘트롤 잡았던 데 간데야지. 저 프로페셔널 임바디게 콘트롤 잡았다人性 제일 먼저 받지 딱 간다디. 자서 수수이냐. 당아 프로페셔널 이제 된 그 말에서 진지기 수수 뭐사와 야나지 농체고. 예서 진지 제거하게 이게 말에서 도스. 다디 만님기요 말았어. 진지를 대는 저 수수 프로페셔널 임바 점시기 다디 지 가르다 가르다디 지수수기 emotional 디조 요알지 오네트네 emotional 디조 냠보 뎀바도 소리 많이 비체 다 모사서 지 베베서 리체고 하게요.
Sometimes, people think that, because you are practitioner, Dharma practitioner. Some Dharma practitioners have, this kind of emotions, like sometimes short-temperedness, sometimes jealous, sometimes, too much kind of attachment. So when people see this, then they would comment that you are a Dharma practitioner. How can you be like that? How can you be angry? How can you be so jealous? So when this happens, then sometimes people try to suppress that. So, I am Dharma practitioner, so I should not be angry. I should not be like this. And so therefore, instead of using methods on working on those emotions, you kind of try to pretend that you don't have those emotions, or try to present or in the face. So that is, I think, unnecessary. That should not be the way.
가르치 컨트롤 가르쳐다 진짜 제비나 가르쳐는 그러잖아. 오늘은 컨트롤되는 연이 여배체 매번에 소마도 따이네 지 컨트롤 남바이나 가르쳐 대지 가르쳐 최냐면 증개를 지금 디기지 뭐처럼 붙이지 사람들도 대도 농으로 붙이지 다들 이제 출출을 붙여야지 소마로다지 파 넘주 된다는데야 파지 컨트롤 매배서로 신점 넘주를 때 전도 간다 근데 제비나 다 디기 나서 차이냐 셈리야베 가르쳐다지 신달래시에 마베 넘주고 되면도 만되면도 지 아니 배 셈리야 유르보 냐스 대비이미나 아니 다 바지 가르쳐야 셈은 나서 선한다도 야는 니마질이야 되는데서 갑대면 차 있는 거.
So therefore, if you have those emotions, but because you are supposed to be Dharma practitioner, so therefore you don't allow, or you don't show those or express those emotions, because you are a little bit ashamed to express those emotions, because you are supposed to be a Dharma practitioner. But you have not actually dealt with those emotions. You have not actually worked on these emotions. So you have them. So if you keep on doing that, then it becomes like a pretension. You pretend not to have emotions, but actually you have them. And so in this way, if you keep on going, then there is danger that sometimes you have mental problems, or at a certain time you cannot keep it under control, and so therefore it comes out in a very forceful way. So these kind of things is not the way.
Not allowed similarly. Social emotional yavati yoncho maresa did ma zenu chata and dana singi kasure
you cannot say that these emotions are not allowed, or
because you are a Dharma practitioner.
Yeah, wow. Because of I am practitioner, so you should not force to kind of not to express those emotions.
Yina yan digi be nyomon ba ko jayen do dang samar ba yon chob kate kaso yan dibe jayen do dang samar be dinde me ba under control 다 간다 kalligli jije
That doesn't
가서 walk out 가서 다 the problem the maps
that doesn't mean that you should, let yourself be totally kind of free to express all the emotions also. Then, you become totally out of control. So therefore, you need to work on your emotions. You need to slowly, step by step, work on his emotions and a little bit learn how to control them.
Hindustane, nyambote Hindustane, kanda susulia, kaso nyomobada, nyamdo, ngazuji kasue. Nyamdo ta kanda. Tati get the session with the Kandalata. I think that's why I think it's not forceful. Maybe some people, like for example, I personally have some sort of this kind of, how to say, example or something, experience. Because I'm a Kamap, people recognize I'm a Kamap. That's why in their mind, I'm kind of like Buddha, like God, and no emotion. If I'm so angry, maybe they're shocked. Maybe also they think this is not really angry, just like play. But sometimes I'm really angry. But they think I'm just play, or they think, oh, I can't understand. How come the Kamapa have this angry? No. I think maybe similar situation, all the people, maybe. Because we are Dharma practitioner, then people have expectation, should be sort of immediately. When we become sort of, the day that we become Dharma practitioner, they expect, suddenly become nice man, good practitioner. I don't think it's that easy. It's not the reality. It's maybe we take more time. Like for example, myself, to working with the emotional, I think take lots of time, like anger, not hatred, maybe hatred. Maybe we take like 5 or 6 years to working with him, to sort of dialogue with sort of emotional. 간다지 수수기 녀모데 모셔베체 뜻이지 몸미시에 소리지 다당 안 소리지 가서 지 들어가서 지 몸마시비 미지 착바스 소리를 투베 소리지 샤되어라 된지 메이비체 클리클리 가다 초부스에서는 다도 야나지 가서든 잡아 상고치 소와데 dinedire cheche tamare dusane ji susun khondru melan saadi ji susu gi zembo wan yu cheba mai ba rangi ngangi shi ji hajangi karjure naturally sana dalu yana joyfully sana dalu dinije gi thwane rangi ngangi ji control che tu ya sana dalu kandaji make friendship dinere so ya dadi geje mi ge
I think that we should have some kind of a dialogue with our negative emotions. We should relate to them. We should identify them, understand them. It's not just, because we sometimes do not recognize our own emotions. Then it becomes like a robber coming, and then, we meet this kind of enemy. It should not be like that. We should understand. We should become familiar. We should recognize our emotions, and then slowly kind of make them our friend, or become acquainted with them. So therefore, then we don't have to force that these emotions are, subsiding, but it naturally subsides. It's kind of self-liberated. That kind of way we should do. We should work with our emotions, but not forcefully. Slowly, first recognizing it, then, keeping some kind of understanding and relationship, and then become familiar with it, and then slowly befriend it, or become, naturally less and less, and then afterwards self-liberated. That's the way to work with our emotions.
Today in the Kashurada, Jeza Delia Bena, Bezer Shevina, the Bilu Junju Shevina. Uma, the Mizanji or Mizanji. Teda, and Choga Digi, Pama the Chambuyamas. Choga di Pamajora, the Chambusham. Kaduine, G. Kashurada, G. Be Trubaja, Namjung, but then the Sivianas. And Durujab came in the Durujab, Kamar ne Macho Cheje. Bang on it ne. Ah, Inaji Kate was on a chocolate matanche. The day you stand, that may occur. That ding on it in D. Mola this summer with that. Amala this. That day, the marriage son might do me to us. Taine, that marriage, Imji Gesian, Imjilia. Imji delegation, when you get schedules, Imji washing to get schedules. That one negation, that Tabji done just like Imji dig. That Lamsambe made Lamsan station, Thomas. The name is Angala measures that the legally she noticed. Made the Jena, legally, Kalana, Nimatawar Jena, and Kaligally she noticed. Kaligally she noticed. Yina, that delay, checking with Giors. Carson, that Kuranga be Namju Yabush Dangers, Mercare, Dugunduna. Amati, Kare, Sigurd, Dugunduna, Drumney. Kandaba Tobazani Mevich. Kuranga Severe, some Tobazani Mevich, Chaudamata, Maranigal Niga or rest. That Mergy, that the Kerenche. Any Mandy, Nimatawarish, Amati, Kalana, des. Then, that may Amadel be none usually then, Castle. None you, Korani to Mushdam at the name of Mergy. That's some the timber which says a park, Cardinum Juru, she would then. None you then, and Caligula do seduce that. And Caligally, the Amatan, the Namasummer, the Jabba Yabach.
So, as an example, I'll tell a story. There was a family, the man and the wife, and the man had his parents. So, the parents of the husband and the wife were not very good relationship. So, the wife was very tolerant, was very patient for a long time, but then there was a point that she could not tolerate anymore. But she also loved her husband, so she didn't want to separate from them. So therefore, she thought there's only one way, and that is to kill the mother-in-law. So she talked with the doctor and then tried to, how to kill this mother-in-law. So the doctor said, if you give a poison that immediately kind of kills the mother-in-law, then it will be suspicious and then it will be not good for you and not good for me. So I'll give you a medicine. And this medicine will kill her slowly. Not now, but very slowly.
Maybe 1 year.
Maybe after 1 year.
After 1 year.
So what you have to do is give this medicine, but every day in the food you have to give this medicine. But while giving this medicine, you should not show that you have bad feelings against her. You should really show that you are very gentle and very nice to her. And then if you do that, then she will die and then nobody will suspect. So she kept on doing that. Every day she gave this medicine, and then unlike before, she was very kind and nice to her and keep on, pretending to be very nice and very kind to the mother-in-law. So eventually, the mother-in-law also changed her attitude. And then the relationship became very good between the mother-in-law and the bride.
现在谈不这他是 pretend 这些，但真的节目我呢，搞不着下去，平时这搞不下去 ，relationship 搞不下去，那么我呢，这样的相对没差了，那现在没得这啥了，都得这啥了，那这边什么东西出来，呢 ，MGT 啥亲戚的，我这样的相对没都是的。 아, 저 배 야부시나 차서 나 센데 미도스. 나 이내 도대서 다 가르쳐 그랬어. 답시를 강요해서 라주스탄에. 어디 MGT 게임 게지. 어디 도 말했어. 대 매랬어. 이 도장 때문에스. 대인 주스탄에 간다디 어디 relationship somewhere. That's relationship better.
So when her relationship became very good. In the beginning, she was pretending that she was nice to the mother or mother-in-law. But then eventually, the mother-in-law also, reciprocated in the same way. So their relationship became really good. And then when the relationship became very good, then she didn't want to kill her anymore. She didn't want that her mother-in-law died. But she had already given poison, so she was feeling very bad. And then she went back to the doctor and she told the doctor, what can I do now? Because I really don't want to kill her because now we are in so good relationship. We are so nice to each other. So when she said this, what the doctor said was that actually I never gave you any poison. It was no poison, it was only medicine. But I wanted you to improve the relationship. That's why I gave you like that.
Under control sanam dandu kanda ji susu ngo xeba sanam dandu kanda ji susu gi semle gu ru che gu ye ba ji da ngo xeba de cha tu chung yi mi na da ji nyong wa de nyong de cha de de che ne kanda forcefully ma yim ji ku ya.
So that's how we have to deal with our emotions. We have to understand our mind. We have to learn and become acquainted with the nature of our mind and emotions, and not forcefully, but step by step and slowly. And that's the way to work.
Thank you.
혼자 숨기양 어미 뮤리 지리 모름 수이 나와르체 금숨매오 동해 예슬 수이 시월르 제첸 케양 투도체 Namo Buddhaya.